Now, for those who know me, know I love reaches. Yeah, I found me some good reaching. And we about to reach for the stars. If you don't like reaches or you don't like reaching, click it. This ain't for you. We about to have a party. We about to have a nice party. If y'all like KATT Williams, if y'all like Kendrick Lamar, if y'all like the predictions, if y'all like the reaches, you come to the right place. And we about to get this. Yeah, now, Kendrick Lamar had a song that everybody called Bodies. And he cut it off. You know what I'm saying? He be cutting it off. So I was thinking, current events. In battle rap, they got this guy named DNA. They call him Mr. Current Events. Or it might be Charlie Clips, one of them. They call him Mr. Current Events because they could freestyle off the top of their head of what's going on now. So I was thinking about the song Bodies. I'm like, damn, why is this resonating with me so much? What's going on with this right here? So there's some current events that's happening now that's Kendrick Lamar referencing or have some words in the song Bodies and allow us to expound on them, y'all. Now, y'all know I can't read, so I'm gonna go through this real slow. So the verse goes, see, we go body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably your better masseuse. I really don't bother nobody, but they run it by me if I gotta clear out the room. Y'all with me? I'm telling you, we about to get some reaching in. You would not get the picture if I was to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre. Now, when this first came out, I didn't know what the hell the Louvre was. What is the Louvre? What is the Louvre? I knew about the building, but I didn't know what it was called. The Louvre is a place where they got a bunch of art, bunch of statues, a bunch of stolen property. Yeah, a bunch of stolen property, like the pharaoh statues. They chipped off the nose because they don't want you to know that those was black people, right? So I said, okay, the Louvre, right? And I seen this news article. What's going on with the Louvre now? French police investigate Louvre jewelry heist. There was a heist at the Louvre. These are 2 hours, 5 hours, couple hours ago, 20 hours, 21 hours. This is recent, y'all. Don't click off this video because we got KATT Williams, a video where he think about the situation and why they so obsessed with our noses. You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out, y'all. That's the one prediction, right? Just by him mentioning the Louvre. He could have mentioned anything else, but he mentions the Louvre. And there was some recent events going on at the Louvre. That's a good read. Okay, that was a good reach, Kiss. You're okay. But let's keep continuing. You would not have a soul even if I had told you to stand next to Johnny and Q. Started with nothing but government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. I could seize the government too. Seize the government too. What's going on now, y'all, is that a lot of people are not getting paid because they work for the government. Why are they not getting paid because they work for the government? Because there's a government shutdown. Yeah, there's a holdup. I don't know what they got going on. You know, I'm not political. I'm not into politics and all that. I don't know what they got going on. But I know people ain't getting paid. They not getting paid. And we're going to take it a step further. They not only getting paid, what also comes with shutting down the government? Government assistance. Government assistance. What comes with government assistance? Stuff like welfare and, Section 8. What else? Government assistance. What else? Let's read some more of this song. Maybe we could clear up some more stuff. Started with nothing but government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. Remember, the food stamp color was tan and brown, but now the 100 is blue. Just by him mentioning these things. You know, I love the reaches. I do reaches. I like reaches. I shouldn't hear no negative I shouldn't see no negative comments because I already told you. Get the fuck out of here if you don't like the reach. I like reaches. Remember, the food stamp color was tan and brown, but now the 100 is blue. So I start thinking, food stamps. Uncharted territory, ongoing shutdown threatened food aid for 42 million people. SNAP benefits may run out November 1st. That's a couple more days. That's right around the corner. But this song was done before all of this going on. Y'all don't find that suspicious? Y'all don't find this funny that he laid all of this out in the same damn verse? I do. Look, maybe I'm tripping. Hey, look, I like tripping. Matter of fact, I just got finished tripping. I got a little scar on my knee. I like tripping. Now, let's get to the KATT Williams video, man. Because these guys, when Kendrick said he gonna make KATT Williams proud, Ninja, you making me proud. Look, for you to lay all of this out in order just like this at the same and wow. I know it's a reach. I like this stuff. This is what I like. I like this. Now, let's get to the KATT Williams video, y'all. I want y'all to keep in mind, y'all remember the Black Panther movie where Killmonger had went into the museum and said, those are my ancestors' artifacts. This ain't y'all shit. Voila. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all without further ado. Let's get it.
Officials say all leads remain open after Sunday's robbery of crown jewels in the Paris Louvre Museum as they examine a vest and other equipment left behind at the scene. Meanwhile, new video appears to show a suspect calmly breaking into a glass display containing the stolen jewels.
When it comes to museums, it does not matter what government they operate on. It doesn't matter what they say. Because we know that most of these acquired pieces that they have was stolen.
Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity.
Talk that talk!
This is why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is.
French police are still on the hunt for the crew that pulled off one of the wildest museum robberies in years at the Louvre Museum. The thieves managed to take off with 9 pieces of royal jewelry, and the whole operation lasted under 7 minutes. And all of the jewels cost millions of dollars. And there are still no arrests, no solid leads, just embarrassment for one of the most famous museums on the planet. And while the media is acting like it's the crime of the century, people like KATT Williams are looking differently at it. And
yeah, bro, all that stuff in there ain't Charles. Give it back to the people. Shit.
Trust, they are not feeling sorry for the Louvre because that same museum has spent centuries showing off art and artifacts stolen from Black history. So let's break down how the heist went down, what KATT had to say, and why this whole situation hits way deeper than just a jewelry robbery.
These artifacts, who do they belong to? They belong to the museums where they are now.
Nope. Now, that's what you call colonial thinking. The very idea that you own what you looted because you looted it.
It was looting, yes, but there were the looting of war was legal.
All right, so here's what went down. It was a regular Sunday morning.
Looting was legal? What? What the fuck are you talking about?
At the Louvre, when 4 people pulled up dressed like construction workers. They rolled up in a truck with one of those lift ladders and parked it right outside a side entrance of the museum. And within minutes, they're up on the 2nd floor, right inside the section holding the French crown jewels. These thieves moved fast. They hit the glass cases with angle grinders, scratched 9 pieces, and dipped, all in less than 7 minutes.
Police say 4 men disguised as construction workers broke into the Louvre using this mobile elevator before making off with...
There's a movie called Spook Who's Sat by the Door. The man was instructing the guys. He said a black man could get anywhere with a mop and a broom. If you black, you can go anywhere if you have a mop and a broom. I'm not saying that this is the same thing right here, but look how they act like they construction workers. Oh, they belong there. They feels like if you black, you supposed to have a mop or a broom. If you right here, you got a mop and a broom, they not gonna question you. Telling y'all go look at them old movies. Y'all go look at them old movies.
Priceless pieces of France's crown jewels.
This is the heist of the decade, targeting the Louvre, the world's most famous museum. It's as bad as it gets, especially for France, but also for the entire world.
Police are investigating this image from a video obtained by BFM TV, which they believe shows one suspect trying to access...
The suspects took off with at least 9 pieces of jewelry, including diamond tiaras, emerald necklaces, brooches that once belonged to French royalty, and even the crown of Empress Eugenie, wife of Napoleon III. So it's not just expensive jewelry.
Don't think for a second that stuff couldn't been passed down from way back before the Renaissance time, before the white people was in charge. Our people was in charge. Black people was in charge. So don't think for a second that stuff wasn't stolen before, way before.
This stuff is literally part of France's so-called national heritage.
Priceless items, including sets of sapphire and emerald necklaces and earrings, elaborate diamond brooches, 2 diadems, and Napoleon's wife, Empress Eugenie's diamond-encrusted golden crown, nearly 200 years old.
After snatching the jewels, the thieves left on scooters and disappeared into the streets of Paris. And all that was left behind was some tools, the lift truck, and a whole lot of confusion. The wild part is that they even tried to burn the truck before leaving, but a museum worker stopped it before it went up in flames. The whole thing feels like something out of a movie, except it's real life. And the Louvre got played. Now, the French government's scrambling. The museum shut down for days, and officials are calling it a national embarrassment. The culture minister...
They in shambles.
is talking about tightening security, and people are already comparing it to the old days of big art heists, like the Gardner Museum robbery or the Mona Lisa theft back in 1911.
We arrived immediately a few minutes after receiving information about this theft. And to tell you everything, this operation lasted almost 4 minutes. It was very quick. It must be said that these are professionals. Organized crime today targets art objects, and museums have obviously become targets because France, as you know, is a country with a rich heritage, a country with historical heritage objects of great value, and so these museums have also become targets for these criminals.
But this time is not just about missing jewels. It's about what those jewels represent, and that's exactly where KATT Williams comes in.
KATT.
So after the news broke, KATT jumped in with one of those takes that only KATT could deliver, and he's basically saying, I'm not losing sleep over the Louvre. And if you know KATT, that's not just him being petty. That's him making a point. He's reminding folks that European museums like the Louvre have been holding on to stolen art for centuries. They've got African masks, statues, gold, and spiritual artifacts that were stolen during colonization. And now they're sitting behind glass, treated like trophies. And when West African countries asked for their artifacts back, European museums told them the best they could do was loan them some of the pieces temporarily.
Neither is it news that during colonial rule in Africa, thousands of cultural artifacts were stolen. While some African countries have been asking for the return of their artifacts, major museums across Europe have only agreed to loan some back, while a few others have returned maybe 1 or 2 in recent times.
So they standing on stealing it. Yeah, we stole it. No, we'll loan you back. What? Bruh. These people this goes to show you how evil they are, bruh. We can't let up on these, man. On these people.
France, surprise, surprise, has actually been reported to call for thousands of African art in its museums to be returned to the continent. Only time will tell if France is not just talking the talk, but will actually follow up by walking the walk.
And according to KATT, this is all part of the colonizers' attempt to rewrite history. KATT's whole point is that the best way to convince an entire region that they have no history is by either destroying or rebranding everything that defined their history.
You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nose, it can only be. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off. Or no chins missing. No, just the nose. Because it's a brand.
So now they're treating the Louvre robbery like it's a national emergency. But KATT is saying, don't ask me to be mad because somebody finally robbed the robbers. And it looks like a lot of people online agree with him. Because when you really think about it, the Louvre crying over missing jewels sounds kind of ironic when half of their collection came from somebody else's homeland. And to really get why KATT said what he said,
that's not the only place. You go in Washington, D.C., like I said before, they got everybody infatuated with the Black History Museum that they just built. Nah, that ain't the one you want. The one you want is the one way up the street. I'm going to look for the name of it. It's the one way up the street. They got Egyptian artifacts in there as well. Not the one with the hip-hop history and all of that. Not that. That ain't the museum you want to go. You want to go up the street in Washington, D.C. They got the real stuff, like the marble and all of that. The statues and pharaohs and all, they got the real stuff up there. They tricked us by making that new one. Don't go up in that one. That ain't the one you want to go to.
You have to understand the story behind it, because this isn't just about one famous museum getting robbed. It's about a system that's been robbing everyone else for centuries. Let's start with the Benin bronzes. Easily one of the most famous cases of cultural theft in history. In 1897, British soldiers stormed the Kingdom of Benin, burning the royal palace to the ground and stealing everything they could carry. I'm talking about thousands of bronze and ivory pieces, royal plaques, sculptures, ceremonial masks, all created by African artists hundreds of years before Europe even had electricity. They were spiritual, political, royal documents, and they were all auctioned off to museums and private collectors across Europe. Some ended up in Paris, and a lot.
It's called the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural. I think it's the Smithsonian, y'all. That's the one you want to go to. That's the one with all the artifacts in it. National Museum of African American. I think it's the Smithsonian, y'all.
Still sits in London and Berlin.
These reliefs that so disturbed the Victorians are the Benin bronzes. They're now regarded as one of Africa's greatest treasures. Created from the 16th century onwards in the ancient West African kingdom, they record Benin's great kings, her wealth, her military power, and the history that Africans were supposed to lack. The Benin bronzes came to Britain as the spoils of an act of plunder. In 1897, British colonial forces attacked Benin City. It was an act of revenge for the ambush of an earlier British expedition. They deposed the king, the Oba, or Vanouamwen, sent him into exile, and burned his palace to the ground. They looted the brass plaques and statues that once decorated the palace walls, took them back to London, and sold them off. Some were put on display in the British Museum.
And then, of course, there's Egypt. Half of the stuff Europeans love to call classical art, those mummies, stone coffins, gold death masks, they didn't stay in Egypt. The French and British looted it during their colonial adventures, sometimes under the excuse of science, sometimes just plain theft. Napoleon's troops literally took artifacts straight out of tombs during his Egypt campaign.
Look, I think it is the Smithsonian. Look, if y'all can see. Y'all see that? I touched them. When I was in there, I touched it. Man, that stuff is so hard. That stone, I'm telling you, that stuff, man, bruh. They got all the real stuff in there. In D.C. In D.C. Not the new museum that they tricking everybody with all the hippity hop stuff and all of that. They ain't the real. The one you want to go to is up the street. I think it's called the Smithsonian.
In the 1790s. That's how France acquired so much of what you now see in the Louvre's Egyptian antiques.
Don't get me wrong, the new one is cool, but if you want that real stuff that they're trying to keep us from, Smithsonian
section. And it wasn't just Egypt or Benin. France took cultural treasures from all across its former colonies. Senegal, Mali, Chad, Madagascar, Algeria. Some of that art still sits in the Louvre, while the rest is at the Quai Branly Museum in Paris, which is basically the warehouse of colonial trophies. That museum alone has over 70,000 pieces from sub-Saharan Africa. 70,000.
And when they say we have no art, they forget that they have stolen all of them. And they are to be found in the museums in Europe. If we had no culture and if we could not do the things they say we could not do, why were they plundering the things that they plundered? Why? Because we had a culture, and what you do is that you destroy a people's culture. And then you create another culture and make them think like you want them to think. This is what they did, not only to us who remained in the mother continent, they did it even to our brothers and sisters who are taken to the Caribbean, those who are taken to the Northern America, those who went to Southern America. They did it, and they took away our language. And if you doubt me, I want you to watch Alex Haley's Roots and see how the main character, Kunta Kinte, was beaten that he may abandon his name and acquire a new culture. But those who...
They put it right in our face through these movies, bruh. Come on, bro. He's speaking facts. That Black Panther movie, when they had Killmonger in the museum, bruh, that didn't just come from nothing. This is real life. This is real life. This is why I need y'all to be liking these type of videos and sharing them. Because if y'all not liking them, they not going to put it in the algorithm to wake our people up. I'm telling y'all, these are the type of videos I really need y'all to be liking. Seriously, y'all, come on. Like, we got to get involved with this.
Who have a culture and those who believe in it will never abandon it.
And it's not just France and England either. Belgium's Royal Museum for Central Africa is another example. Most of its collection came straight out of the Congo during King Leopold II's reign, a period where millions of Africans died under Belgian rule. They have masks, carvings, jewelry.
Yeah, Leopold, he would chop off people's hands, children, chopping off their hands and all of that if he even thought they stole something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he the one who was getting all the rubber from the trees and all of that. Goodyear, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Bro, please like this video to get it out there in the algorithm, y'all. Please, I need y'all to get involved. You know what I'm saying? So we can wake our people up. I'm telling you, they strip us from our identity and then force whatever they want us to be. You know what I'm saying? Now we around here hating each other and all of this, think we ugly and all of that. Telling y'all, bro, this run deep. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Big Kish signing out. Going, y'all.